Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, today's little ramble is what I'm going to call a little bit of a stream of consciousness, mostly because I've only just started to come to after stuffing my face with holiday food and traveling all over the place. So, bear with me while I ease back into this whole video making thing and hopefully you enjoy it. Over the festive season, I've been mucking about when I've been able to with the Mirai Guardian, the new kid on the block in the long-range heavy fighter category. And I'll admit, I went into this thinking my conclusion would be something along the lines of, yeah, I like it, but. However, once I chucked out the stock cannons, and honestly, who even uses those, and bunged on some high-velocity repeaters, kind of started growing on me. Across the persistent universe and Arena Commander, this old girl has been holding her own rather nicely, especially once you get the hang of her spherical acceleration and thrust profile, which frankly feels more like piloting a hummingbird compared to your traditional heavy fighters. Now, this becomes particularly obvious when squaring up against the traditional heavy fighter foe, i.e. light fighters. And if I was in an F8 typically, this sort of an engagement would feel like a little bit of a brawl in a phone booth, a constant tussle to keep the little gnats out of that Goldilocks zone they're so eager to get into. But in the Guardian, once you figure out her quirks, she has this uncanny knack for being able to get her guns on target when it matters, and being able to shrug off or sidestep a little bit more DPS than you'd honestly expect. As for some pros and cons, she is relatively agile for her size, especially if you learn to take advantage of those strays and boost and a little bit of power management. She has a very nice missile payload in its flexibility, being able to carry from size 1s up to size 4s. She has an interior complete with all the usual amenities such as a bed, suit locker, engineering terminal, component access, as well as external inventory and weapon storage. As for the cons, while agile, you are no light fighter, so the old girl does benefit from some sparring and time on stick versus players to learn how she best likes to fight and fly. She does hate missiles, and like most heavy fighters, she does hate being focused down. Now, for a bit of lore. Mirai, the manufacturer, has been making waves ever since their successful foray into the snub market with the Furies. With crime on the rise across the UE and, well, let's not forget the looming threat of the Vandal, they've decided to step up. Enter the Guardian and the Guardian Chi, unveiled to much fanfare in 2954. The Guardian is your standard long-range fighter and escort, focusing on acting as a fighter screen for larger, less nimble craft on the trade lanes and on patrols, while the Chi is more about pinning down its targets with its QED and turning them into Swiss cheese flavoured space dust. Mirai's focus on agility has well and truly paid off, with the Guardians crowned, at least in my opinion, probably if not the most nimble heavy fighters in their class. This is largely thanks to clever thruster placement and their gimbaled main engines alongside their acceleration profiles. This has the benefit of delivering excellent angular velocities, the ability to change direction and acceleration without sacrificing too much in the way of firepower armor. Speed-wise, you only really tend to get left behind by dedicated interceptor heavies like the Scorpius. And well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A heavy fighter is equal parts elegant and agile alongside deadly. Just try not to let it catch a missile to the face or anywhere else for that matter.